Hello, I'm back again with another tier list. Today I'm going to be doing the Hashira. This isn't strength, this is more so how I view them personally and like them as characters from S to F tier. So pretty simple. If you do enjoy, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000. Just got a notification, but I don't want to re-record this. So yeah, let's get into it now. Starting off with the water pillar Giyu, I like Giyu a lot, and he's actually probably my second or third favorite Hashira, behind ones that I'll mention later on. And I think he has a lot of cool development when it comes to his inferiority complex and how that's misunderstood by all of the other Hashira, and they find him arrogant. Even though the reason he's saying he's not like them isn't because he's better, but because he views himself as so much worse because he only passed the final selection because of Sabito. Despite this, he is a very powerful and impressive Hashira. I think he is probably third most powerful, is what I put in my list. But if you don't agree, that's fine. So yeah, as a Hashira and as a character, I'm debating between S and A. I'll put A for now, but I may come back and do S tier depending on who else lands in A. I don't think anyone's going to be F tier unless maybe I change my mind. But continuing on now, we have Gyomei, the rock pillar, and he's honestly one that we do get a backstory and all that for, but it feels very kind of implanted in there. We don't actually see too much of him till like the final arc or two. We see some cool moments with Tanjiro and him, and I do like him because of this. And it's hard to put him anywhere but A tier because he is such a cool character with his backstory and all. It's really tragic and sad to see his backstory, and I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted here. B or A? Um, I'll put. I don't know. I'll put A for now. I'm not sure though. I may change this. Going into Senetsu's grandpa, we don't get much from him, but from what we see, I'll just say B tier. He's nice. He seems to have a good career as a Hashira. He lost his leg and everything, and that's all I could really say about him. Now for Shinobu's older sister, I guess like C tier. We don't actually see much from her. It's not that she's a bad character. I feel like we just don't get enough to fully flesh out how I would feel about her personality wise and everything. We do get some moments and flashbacks, and I think in the Rengoku Gaiden novel, she might have been there as one of the Hashira when he was being introduced. I vaguely remember that, but either way, she's about C tier, I'd say. Rengoku, straight to S tier. He's my personal favorite Hashira. I think his character is written beautifully, and watching the Mugen Train movie, literally, I was like in tears. It was beautifully done. I think he's a really inspiring character. His whole personality with Tanjiro and Nezuko and how he treats them in that Mugen Train mission is beautiful. How he believes in Tanjiro and he'll stand up for him, saying to Akaza that he's not weak. It's done perfectly. And I love Rengoku. It's so sad that he got turned into a donut. Rest in peace, Rengoku. But yeah, the Flame Hashira is easily S tier for me. I love his characterization and everything, design, and there you go. Now for Rengoku's student, Mitsuri the Love Pillar, we don't get too much compared to characters maybe like you and Rengoku, but we do get a backstory and cool things like that. And I would put her in like probably B tier. I think she's a solid character and she does have cool moments, such as in that final arc. We're actually going to see a lot of her and the next Hashira here, Muichiro, in season 3. So you could be excited for that if you haven't read the manga, which I don't know why you're watching this because I feel like I'm spoiling some stuff. Sorry about that, but moving on. Muichiro, I think, might have to be S tier or A. I'm very conflicted between S and A because I don't want to put too many people in S. But based on who we have left, honestly, I'll put him in A tier. I'll put him in A tier because Rengoku for me is that pillar of like S tier, just perfection. I love his character. And Muichiro, while he is cool and has nice development with him having memory loss and then regaining his memories and really changing as a person because of Tanjiro and things like that, I don't know if he's quite S tier just because I don't want to put too many people in S tier, but I may change that once everyone else has their rankings. Moving on to Obanai Iguro, probably B tier. He's one of the Hashira. Don't really get a lot from until the final arc, and he's kind of like Sanemi light in my mind with how his attitude is towards Tanjiro and other people, and Giyu especially. They both don't like Giyu. And his backstory again is pretty unique and interesting with him being the first like male born in his family for a while, and because of that he was like prisoned and they all worship a snake goddess. It's very interesting, weird stuff. But yeah, I mean it's Demon Slayer, so don't be too surprised. He was actually saved by Rengoku's dad or a flame pillar, if I'm remembering correctly, which I may not be after escaping. But yeah, he's cool enough, and I'd put him in B tier next to his girlfriend Mitsuri. So moving on to Arokata, I think I forgot how to pronounce his name. It's been a while, but Tanjiro and Gyu's teacher, the former water pillar who always wears the mask and everything, I'd put him into B tier too, I guess. Maybe C. I'll put him into B tier. He's really a good mentor character, although we don't see much from him throughout the series. He is kind of that like point of it feels nice and reminiscent of the beginning of the story and how kind he was. Him and Gyu both putting their lives on the line for Nezuko and Tanjiro, saying that if Nezuko were to ever attack or eat a human, they'd both kill themselves. So they're dedicated at the least, and I do like this character enough. So he's a good mentor. Next on to Sanemi the Wind Pillar. Sanemi is extremely annoying to me for the majority of the series. Just his attitude and everything gets really tiring, but I understand where it's coming from, even though he abuses his brother a lot. He has reasons for why he's doing that. He wants his brother to go get married and live a happy life and not be a demon slayer, but at the same time, who is he to decide that? I mean, I think he's a well-written character. But he's extremely unlikable. So I don't know if I'm doing this list based on likability or well written at this point, but I'll put him in like C tier, I guess. I mean, I do like when he's calling demon shitheads and attacking Muzan and everything, but I don't know if I could put him higher than C tier just for likability. Next is Rengoku's dad, and I honestly have to put him in A tier. He has really beautiful development in the short amount of time we see him in the story. We know he's an alcoholic and doesn't want his son to be a demon slayer, but he does love Rengoku, and he's extremely sad when he finds out what happens to him. He puts on this facade in front to Tanjiro and other people, but he really does love his son, and he just didn't want what happened to him to happen, as well as the reason why he became an alcoholic and left the corpse is because of his wife dying and all that. And the toll it took on him, I think it's really just tragic. And by the end of the story, he is kind of redeemed and back to this more respectable person. So I'd put him in A tier. Next is Shinobu, and honestly, I'd say A tier. I think she's written really well. I like her whole demeanor with how she's so angry, but she presents it in a very kind manner a lot of the time, hiding all that anger, which Tanjiro sniffs out and talks to her about. I think her fight against Stoma at the end is really cool. She plays a huge part in that, and her whole characterization, I think, is pretty consistently good and enjoyable. And I do like her character. She is caring and kind, but she has this anger for what happened to her sister. So yeah, lots of A tier characters. I'm trying to be sparing with S tier. Next with Tengen, this is a really difficult one. I'm tempted to put Tengen in S tier, but I feel like if I put Tengen in S tier, I'm gonna have to put Giyu and maybe Muichiro there. So I'm at a loss. I mean, he's flashy. His character development is really beautiful throughout the entertainment district arc. How he does really want to protect Tanjiro and literally sacrifices his arm and an eye to do so, as well as being the first Hashira to defeat an upper rank demon in over like 100 or plus years. It's really impressive and cool. And I love how he compares himself to Rengoku and says that he's not talented like people like Muichiro or Gyomei, but he does persevere nonetheless and become a relatively powerful demon slayer in Hashira. So for the king of flashiness, I'm really torn here. Okay, I accidentally just put him in S, but I guess I'll leave it there. By doing that though, I feel like Gyu is gonna have to be S tier, maybe. Maybe Mushiro. I don't know. But I'm at a loss. I think I'm happy with how this list looks. Not too many in S tier, but I think overall these characters and the characterizations are all very unique to their own personalities and everything. I think that's a strength of Demon Slayer as a whole for sure. And honestly, I think I'm okay with the list how it is. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, again, please subscribe, like, comment. I love responding and reading the comments. And also, I'm trying to hit 1,000, just a fun little goal. So, yeah, I will see you in the next one.